Welcome, everyone. I'm Marla Miller from marlamiller.com. I have been an author, writer, and workshop leader for many years. I launched this Authors and Book Promotion 21st Century Style because we need to hear from the incredible wide range of authors who are out there promoting their books. And I just thought that this 20-minute session would be helpful, not only to the author in terms of their own book promotion, but to you, our viewers who are on your own roads to publication. And today I'm delighted to have Rick Shaw. He is associated with the Santa Barbara Writers Conference and has been for a long time. He teaches workshops there. And in addition to Rick being a 3 times author, and he's going to tell you about that, he's been an academic for many years, and his specialty is technology. And so when he's at the Santa Barbara Writers Conference, you can be sure that we really appreciate and take advantage of his knowledge. Rick, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Marla. It's a pleasure to be here again.
So I want to get right into it. You've got so this is a series. Your first novel is a standalone.
Correct.
And tell our listeners the name of that, because even though I've read it and reviewed it, and it hooked me on sci-fi. It truly did. It's a tough first name. So tell us what it is. Tunguska.
Tunguska is a region in Siberia.
Okay.
The Tunguska Deception is a cross-genre sci-fi. It's a combination alien possession, disaster, political thriller, and alternate history.
And I can vouch for that because, and really, it's not. I'm not being solicitous, but I don't read sci-fi. You know, I've read Ray Bradbury, a couple of others, and I haven't even read all of Bradbury's stuff because it's just not my genre.
Sure.
And so I read that novel, and I think that I emailed you before I even reviewed it. I mean, it hooked me.
Thank you.
On sci-fi, and the reason why I think it did is because it was a story that clearly said to me that regardless of genre, this is about character development. This was a love story.
Yeah, it's about Finn and Echo and being swept up into something that they could never have imagined.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay. And so now you've got, since I last talked to you, well, at least here, you've got a series. So tell us about the series, book 1 and book 2.
The series is the Genesis Renewed saga.
Mm-hmm.
1 is Genesis Renewed, the title book.
Okay.
It is a near future post-apocalyptic pandemic that is based in a celestial pathogen that creates a rapid die-off of the human race and a few other species. Happens as a result of a comet striking Europa. There are bacterial life in the ice of Europa that then gets distributed in Earth's atmosphere. The survival rate is 6 digits to the right of the decimal point and then a 3.
Wow.
Which leaves about 20,000 people worldwide alive after 7.2 billion.
Wow.
Leaving about 1,200 folks on the North American continent, about 1,000 in America. Our lead character, Dave Sharp, is a high school history teacher who served 2 tours in the Gulf. And when the world goes to shit, excuse my French,
no, it's fine.
He falls back on his training. And his training is you consolidate to a safe location, you gather folks in, and you figure out how to survive. Being who he is, he puts himself in the position of finding survivors and bringing them into the fold and keeping them safe.
Okay. And fast forward to the end of this so we can get to the second in the series.
Genesis Renewed closes with him having started to reach out with shortwave radio and ham operations, and discovering survivor colonies in little pockets all over the world. One of the survivors in his colony is a hacker and has hacked his way into some of the surveillance satellites because the governments aren't using them anymore. And they find a sizable population, larger than anything else he's found, in Montana for And he wants to know why.
Oh, interesting. And that's the premise. And we're off and running.
And that's Oaths and Odysseys. Oaths and Odysseys picks right up
Okay.
with that little puzzle. His sense of duty to the nation that no longer exists as a veteran, and wondering what happened to whatever government might remain in the order of succession, the presidential order of succession. And then a mystery character from the first novel who's disappeared. And there's a connection there that they want to find out. So Oaths and Odysseys is leveraging still existing infrastructure, using an aircraft, flying across country to find this missing mystery character, then flying back and connecting with the 15th person on the order of succession, the Secretary of Education, Helena Espinosa. And she recognizes that though nothing in the government exists anymore, but if there's information in any of the computers that you need, you can have it. And she joins their colony, and then off to Montana to find out why do we have survival rate.
Interesting.
And they're collecting genetic samples and collecting data and making connections. And that's where Oaths and Odysseys runs.
And so don't tell us anymore because
I will not.
We want to read
I want
the
you to
book.
read it.
Is there going to be a book 3 to this?
There's going to be 3 more to it. The one I'm currently working on is internally titled Genesis Alone.
Okay.
And its protagonist is a college student in the middle of nowhere, Saskatchewan.
You know what I love? I just love writers and our imaginations. And I know a little bit about Rick, and so this is perhaps helpful to those who will be listening. I'm one of those storytellers who believes that most everything that we write, if it has any resonance with the public, it's rooted in our experience, in some way in our experience. And of course, as you're talking, I know that you have a technology background. I know that you have been an academic for many years, and I also know that you've served our country. And so all of that, as I'm listening to you synopsize this, it's all there. And that's fascinating to me. That's just fascinating to me.
And I'll share with you, I was having dinner with my mother, and Mom's my biggest fan. That goes without saying.
And Mom is what, 81 or 82?
Mom is 81.
Bless her heart.
And still active and a CPA and has clients and loves what she does.
It's wonderful.
And we are debating my characters. And she says, Rick, Dave is you. And I said, no, Mom, Will is me. Will is the geek. Dave is a combination of Dad and your brother.
Interesting.
And she looked at me. I said, Dad was a South Pacific Marine. Your brother John was a Ranger in Nam. Both of them very fixated on doing what is right and doing the right thing.
There you go.
And that's Dave Sharp.
Well, but I will say this, and I haven't met your mother, although I do hope to meet her someday when I'm up in Santa Barbara. That's you too, because I know you. And so that's why your mom said that. Because you are, I know you pretty well. You do the right thing. Or at least that's always your goal.
Her face where she connected the dots and she went, oh.
Oh.
And she saw the tissue between, and I went, I won.
Yeah, absolutely. And that just reinforces my hypothesis out here about writing what you know or writing what you need to know more about, and the roots of your writing, of your storytelling. I just believe that compelling storytelling has deep roots in our inner beings. But we could spend a whole session on that. What I want to zoom in on, because I know that this in your series has just come out, and I'm watching the time, and we've got 10 minutes. So what are you doing? And I'll pretend that I don't know. What are you doing out here in social media land? And do you think it's enough? And if you have any ideas of what else you could be doing, share it with our listeners. What are the platforms that you like?
I'll be honest, I haven't really found a platform I genuinely like.
Okay.
And they all have their downsides. There are folks who are making money using Facebook ads.
Have you tried that?
the ads and they're interesting. But there's enough noise with Facebook ads that lends a lack of credibility to the platform in general that just really bothers me.
Okay,
Because
because I hear they work. I hear
have
that,
heard them
yeah.
work too. Um, uh, I haven't seen, I haven't talked to enough people to see the numbers to buy into it yet.
Okay, all right.
I use Amazon ads
Oh, you do?
to some extent.
Okay,
I have a
What
very
do you-
limited budget associated with it. I keep track of, and the Amazon platform impressions are free. You don't pay anything until there's a click on the ad.
okay. And that's
And
different from Facebook.
I have the control over how much I'm willing to pay for a click, and that goes into their algorithm as to whether or not they want to create the impression.
Interesting. Now,
Uh,
I'm going to be paranoid for a second. This is off topic a little bit, but do you think that the more you're willing to pay, the more they're willing to algorithm it?
Yes,
Yeah, of course.
absolutely.
Okay. Well, I
Because-
just want readers, I mean, listeners to know
Well,
that because a
I'm just
lot of
saying,
people
there's
don't
algorithm.
know that.
Yeah, I mean, they're wanting me to pay 75, 80, 90 cents a click,
Yeah,
and I'm not willing to do that. So I'll go into the settings and I set my per click at 25 cents a click.
okay.
Now at that, I'm still seeing, 700 to 1,000 impressions a day,
Okay.
which is, I think, a reasonable amount.
Mhm.
I'm getting roughly 3 to 4 clicks a day.
Okay.
So I'm staying within my budget because I'm
Mhm.
setting a cap of $1.50 a day on each campaign.
Okay.
I've yet to exceed that. And my revenue is exceeding my costs per click by about a factor of 3.
So break that down a little bit. You mean the money that you're getting for the books is exceeding what you're paying
I'm
out?
getting for page reads in Amazon's Kindle Unlimited,
Uh-huh.
and my Kindle or print sales exceed what I'm paying for clicks in my advertising by a factor of 3.
Okay, and so
I'm
You know
making money off of their advertising.
you know that I'm getting ready to publish another novel and working with my publisher now. We're a little behind, but talk a little bit more then about how you set that up. How did you decide, or was it willy-nilly? You
Well,
just
no,
went,
first I approached it as this is a research project, so I'm going to
yes,
invest.
that's
So
what
I-
I'm asking you.
With their cost per click.
Mhm.
So I lost money on it for the first couple or 3 months.
Okay,
Good
good for us to know.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And I went through and I started watching where it was paying and where it wasn't,
Mhm.
and their keywords that were and weren't. And then I built my own campaign based on the keywords that I thought were working. And I said
Oh,
that I was willing to pay for those clicks.
so you collected that data
Yes,
and kind of repurposed it or
Yes.
modified it. Okay, cool. So that's good for people to know because, a lot of people don't know that it's not enough to pay for it, but you got to track it.
yeah, no, it is an investment in time, and you need to build a knowledge base to use it effectively.
Okay.
No different than the Facebook ads, no different than trying to manage TikTok interfaces.
Okay.
Same sort
Yeah.
of thing.
And other platforms that I know that you're on TikTok, but you're not that crazy about it. I like it.
I about the political ramifications. the
Okay.
impact.
So can you stay off of that and just be, I just advised a writer, just stay off the politics because she said the same thing and just go to Book Talk and Writer Talk and just develop your channel that way.
No,
Okay.
that's
Have
very
you-
much there. But
Yeah.
we're making investments in a platform that may not exist in 6 months.
I know. I think it will.
My
I think
concern-
it will, but yeah, I
Not a
think
bad
it will.
one I want to invest in.
Yeah, with me, the reason why I like TikTok is because it's so efficient. I don't have to spend all that time writing. I
Yeah.
just get on, do a
It's
3-minute,
platform.
and I'm
it
off.
allows things to disseminate quickly.
Yeah,
There are a handful of folks who I follow their channels, and they're interesting to follow.
Yeah.
All of them are writing related.
hmm
So,
Me
like I said, I'm being judicious in the effort I'm investing in it.
Okay, it sounds good, and I encourage all authors on the road to publication, or those of you who are already published, to be judicious. Just don't be throwing your money out there and track your money. Track, how it's being spent by the platforms that you're giving it to. Okay, so another area that I want you to talk about, because you like podcasts, don't you?
I do like podcasts.
Okay, talk to us a little bit about that.
I like genre podcasts because you're already talking to fellow travelers.
Right.
I have a handful of podcasts that I follow. I've gotten to know their hosts over the years. I've got 2 interviews scheduled for next week
Cool.
on Blasters and Blades and on Tim Niedermeyer's, and I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry, Tim, I forgot your title, brother.
Dead Robot Society,
The other one,
Alive After Reading.
Alive After Reading. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, Tim, you're going to hear this and be mad at me. I'm sorry.
We said it. We got it out there.
Dead Robots has been around for over a decade.
Okay.
It's a craft and business oriented podcast. It's got 3 hosts. One is a trad pub, the other is an indie, and the third is a voice artist that does audiobooks.
I'm going to tell you, we've got 3 minutes left. And so would you recommend any one platform we should say that you are published by a small press. You identify yourself as an indie author. Tell us the name of the press again.
Sorry, I wanted to keep my voice.
Yeah.
2F Books, 2F Books.
Okay. And you recommend podcasts. Did you say that in your interview? I do.
I recommend that. I recommend reaching out to again, fellow travelers, folks who do it because they're looking for content. And if you're producing, an interesting interview, you're going to draw more audience, and it's going to be mutually beneficial. And of course, the other thing that I actively promote is obviously my newsletter. And I'm a fan of BookFunnel and trading list activities with their platform. I think that's another way to really target fellow travelers by using their list swap mechanism.
And Rick, you like YouTube.
I do like YouTube.
Tell us about that a little bit.
Content. There are a couple of really good content providers out there. Craig Martell has over 800 episodes out there that are 5 minutes or thereabouts, and he talks about everything from the business of indie pub to craft to self-help and self-care. And it's the Successful Indie Author is really a good channel to follow.
It's called The Successful Indie Author.
Yep.
Okay, listeners, you heard it here. Anything else? Because I wanna wrap this up. Although again, as I said to you, I could talk to you for a long time, but you'll come back.
Sure.
Anything else that you want to share with our listeners who are writers on the road to publication that you can offer from your own experience, Rick?
There are some really generous communities out there. The 20 books to 50K community is still a very active a generous group. Join the group, listen, learn from it, search the groups on Facebook for your answers before posting a question. But if you come up with a question you can't find an answer to, you'll get one from that group.
Okay.
That conference has now ended. It's been acquired by a guy named Joe Solari, and he's rebranding it as Authors Nation. I'm a little skeptical because I've seen conferences that do good get repurposed for maximizing profit.
Sure.
And I'm skeptical, but
I know.
It's a good guy. I've known him for a couple of years. I'm going to attend the conference this year and see how it goes.
Okay. And I would recommend that I'm going to wrap this up now, Rick, but I would recommend attending conferences.
Absolutely.
All of you out there, whether you're indie, whether you're traditional, go to Writers Conference. Just find them. They're in your state. They're sometimes in your county, online.
There are conferences on craft. There are conferences on the business of it.
Absolutely.
And educate yourself on both, because you are a business person. You are producing a product and a good that you are trying to sell.
Yep. You know what? I think that we'll end on that. You know that when I first got published by traditional publisher, I realized what they didn't do, what they couldn't do for me, because they were downsizing and I didn't know it. What the hell did I know? I was just a first-time author and excited to be one.
So I'm going to pimp the book. And go to
hold that up again, Rick. It's a nice cover. Did you do that cover yourself?
I did. I do my own art.
Excellent. But people need to know that they need to find a writing home someplace out here.
Yep.
Because being associated with other writers is imperative. It's just imperative,
I try.
especially now in the 21st century publishing road that we're all on.
Absolutely.
Rick Shaw, thank you so much. And I look forward to our next conversation.
My pleasure, Marla. Thank you.
Okay, bye. Now, I think yeah, okay.
No,
All
you're
right.
still recording.
I stopped the video.
Now you're done recording.
I'm done recording, but it didn't tell me I was done recording.
Recording turned off on my end.
Okay,
Yep.
good, good. That went well, Rick.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are like the perfect guest to have. You know what I mean? Because you're not at a loss for words at all. I know that I can just lob you a question and you're just going to run with it. So I really appreciate it. If you know anyone else who is interested in interviews, I think I'm going to try and up this more than I have. And I would like to, I would like to hang out with writers here who are
Sure.
who are on the road to publication and publishing. All right, kid, then I will talk to you. And remember, this COVID thing comes and goes. As I told you, it took me about a full month to not feel anything. 2 weeks, I was, kind of flat, but it's a tough bug. So you take care of yourself.
Thank you. You too.
All right, kid.
We need to do another online session in the next couple of weeks to tweak a few things on your site.
Good. Okay. When do you want to do that? Next week?
A backup off-site to one of your cloud accounts.
Oh, okay. Let's do that. I only have one cloud account.
Okay.
And I think it's good. I mean, since my website is so big, can I put it on my external drive?
You can do a backup and download it.
Okay. I backed up on the website, by the way.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Set it up.
But we need to do it outside of that, right? Well, I've never backed up before, Rick.
I am a proponent of offsite backups.
Okay, so you
have current local and have an alternate cycle that goes someplace outside the quake zone or the machine that it's on.
Okay.
Because if the machine dies for some reason,
Yeah.
you want to be able to bring it back.
All right. Well, we can try it on my iCloud account and see what I've got. I don't know how much.
You have a Google Drive account too.
Oh, I've never used that.
Don't you? You have a Gmail account.
Yeah, I do.
Well, then you've got a Google Drive account.
Really?
Yep.
See, I don't even know that. All right. Well, listen, we will set up a time that works for you next week, okay?
Yeah.
Or the week after. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. Next
Okay.
week after. This weekend I'm booked solid. Next week, Thursday, I'm doing both podcast interviews on the same day.
Good.
When
When it works for you. You want to shoot me an email when you have time?
Yeah, I'll look at my calendar.
All right, good. Or if I don't hear from you, I'll just remind you, because I'm here. I thought I was going to be going back to Virginia. I've got 2 more weeks of my workshop, and then I don't think I'm going back to Virginia. So I will be here. By the way, I just got a teaching job at Saddleback Community College.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
What you teaching?
I'm sorry you can't see me, but
It's okay. What you teaching?
I'm teaching creative writing. I'm teaching memoir and
Okay.
autobiography. So it's cool.
Just out of curiosity, what do they pay per LHE?
Shitty
What is it, about 1,600?
for a workshop, for a full workshop.
No, per unit.
Oh, that
Oh,
I don't even know.
You're not teaching for credit?
Well, I'm doing it for the adult ed.
Okay.
And so I don't know. I just know that I'm not getting paid that much, although I did tell them I would love to take the job, but that's not enough pay. And they did up it a little bit. But I'm doing it for obvious reasons.
Oh, sure.
It's right here, and I love to teach, and I'm pretty good at it. And I want to expand the platform. So
Sure.
Freaking
You're
book
doing it on campus, you're doing it online?
No, it's on campus.
Okay, that's a
It's at the
beautiful.
main, it's at the main campus.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times.
I taught psychiatric nursing there back in the 80s.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so I'm going back. I'm
Yeah.
going back and doing a version of psychiatric nursing, because I gotta tell you, people who are interested in memoir and autobiography, you know, the roots of it, the roots are their, you know,
Processing trauma or
yeah,
something.
their life stories.
Processing
And
experience.
it's pretty interesting. I love what I'm doing in Newport. And so I just thought, you know what? Apply at Saddleback. I applied and I got in. All right. I will talk to you, sir.
All right, off you
Bye.
go.
Okay, bye.